Science is the magic that works, said writer Kurt Vonnegut. Science and technology have revolutionized the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. From smartphones and laptops to airplanes, medical breakthroughs, and even moon landings, science and technology have enabled us to achieve feats once considered impossible. Welcome to the first National Scientists Roundtable Conference 2024 for Viksit Bharat 2047, hosted by Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University in Pune, Bharat. Join us on July 19th, 20th and 21st in the dynamic hub of Pune, Maharashtra. Under the visionary leadership of our distinguished patrons and advisory committee, NSRTC 2024 brings together great minds from around the world, leading academics, scientists, researchers, and scholars to share their experiences and research in physical sciences, life sciences, engineering, and technology. This conference aims to ignite new ideas and inspire researchers, especially the budding young generation, to pursue fundamental research in emerging areas of science and technology. We will explore new ways of interdisciplinarity and international collaboration. Our objectives are clear: to inspire groundbreaking discoveries with sustainability, advance cutting-edge technologies, and creating an equitable, sustainable, and human-centric Viksit Bharat at 100.
Bharat sir, Dr. Vikramandi is not well, so he is not here today. Dr. Yadav, Dr. Professor Pradeep, and Professor Wagmare for illuminating morning session, and of course our founder, President Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, our Dr. P.P. Joshi sir, and last but not least our mentor Rahulji Karad sir, for organizing and allowing having this vision for this conference. At the same time, I would like to welcome organizing committee, distinguished scientists, students and faculty, all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Today, we are gathered here to embark on the journey of intellectual exploration and innovation. This conference is first of its kind, is a testament to our commitment to advancing scientific research and fostering collaboration among our nation's brightest scientists, students, and educators. We are deeply honored to have with us today some of the most distinguished figures in the scientific community across India, whose presence here is the reflection of the importance of this conference and the high expectations we have for its outcome. This conference is actively engaged in cutting-edge scientific research across a spectrum of fields, including advanced material, quantum energy, pharmaceuticals, and artificial intelligence. It provides an unparalleled opportunity for our students and faculty to interact with well-known scientists to discuss present and future relevance of these technologies and to explore the limitless possibilities they offer. Our primary goal over the next couple of days is to identify and discuss the challenges we currently face as a society. We aim not only understand these challenges, but also to collaboratively find solutions. We are here to be a part of this solution and to drive change and to inspire innovation that will shape our future. The expectations here that these scientists will interact, collaborate, and decide transdisciplinary solutions. This is the necessary step towards the Viksit Bharat in 2047. What does that mean? This means there are different speakers in the morning gave different definitions. It's, in my point of view, it's uplifting the standard of living of common Indian citizen. This conference is not just about the sharing knowledge, it is about developing the bright scientific minds who are attending, and our students and young researchers are the future of science and technology. We must nurture their curiosity, fuel their passion, provide them with the tools and opportunities they need to excel. Before I close, I would like to mention MIT WPU has a legacy of last 40 years as a teaching and excelled academics prowess. We are on transformative journey to become a leading research-oriented university as well. That's our commitment here. The National Scientist Roundtable Conference illustrates our commitment to promote innovation and academic excellence, serving as a pivotal event that will drive our vision forward. Let us make the most of this opportunity to learn, share, and collaborate. Together we can push the boundaries of what is possible, pave the way for the brighter future of the Viksit Bharat. Thank you all for being here, for your dedication to the advancement of science and technology. Let us make this first National Scientists Conference, Roundtable Conference, a resounding success. Thank you very much once again for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that introductory remark. And I'm sure the expectation that you have shared with us, when such bright minds of our nation are here, the success of NSRTC is ensured. Thank you very much. My friends, now as per the tradition of our motherland, Bharat, I would like to request revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the dignitaries on the dais. First and foremost, I would like to request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome Padma Vibhushan, the former Director General of CSIR New Delhi, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir. Please put your hands together and welcome with a great round of applause, my friends, the Chief Patron of NSRTC, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir. A big round of applause, my friends, for Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir. A big round of applause. Thank you. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the former Director of CDAC, Government of India, Pune, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir. A big round of applause, my friends, for Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir. We all are aware of these tall personalities, their work, their contribution to our country and science. A big round of applause. Thank you. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the former Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, Padma Shri awardee, Dr. G.D. Yadav ji. A big round of applause, my friends, for Padma Shri, Dr. G.D. Yadav ji. Thank you. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome from IIT Madras, Padma Shri, Professor T. Pradeep ji. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Padma Shri Professor T. Pradeep ji. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, dignitaries. And my friends, now it's time when we are going to hear the address from the chief patron of NSRTC. His vision, his thoughts behind the creation and implementation of NSRTC. But before I invite Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir, I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a small film.
Today, we honor a luminary in the world of science, a beacon of innovation and excellence. It is our privilege to introduce Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar. Dr. Raghunath Ananta Mashelkar, a visionary scientist and an exemplary leader, has significantly advanced the frontiers of chemical engineering and scientific research. As the former Director General of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, he has been instrumental in propelling India's scientific community onto the global stage. Under his dynamic leadership, CSIR blossomed into a world-renowned research institution, pioneering breakthroughs that have shaped modern science and technology. As a Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, Dr. Mashelkar continues to inspire and mentor the next generation of scientists and engineers, fostering a spirit of innovation and intellectual rigor. Dr. Mashelkar's global influence is further exemplified by his presidency at the Global Research Alliance, where he champions collaborative efforts to address some of the world's most pressing challenges through science and technology. A recipient of Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor, Dr. Mashelkar's contribution to science and society have been recognized and celebrated worldwide. Please join us in welcoming Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, a true pioneer, visionary, and our esteemed special guest of honor at the National Scientists Roundtable Conference.
Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir.
Our most revered founder, Professor Vishwanath Rao Karad, one and only my younger brother and one of the nation's most beloved scientists, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, Professor G.D. Yadav, Professor Pradeep, Rahul Karad, because of whom we are here today, and I will explain why it is so. Distinguished dais, and the great eminence I see in front of me, coming from all over India, the greatest of thought and action leaders in science, technology, and innovation, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very special privilege to give the opening remarks in this unique first National Scientists Roundtable Conference, NSRTC as we call it. This is NSRTC 2024. Next year it will be 25, then 26, 27, it will go on. And then of course NSRTC 2047, that's what we are looking at. That is the Viksit Bharat. Okay. I have been very closely associated with MIT. It's a great institution created by great individuals who are institutions themselves, like Dr. Vishwanath Rao Karad, and I've been associated for 40 years. And it has been a great joy, a great privilege to see it grow into a preeminent institution. What appeals to me is also their deep social connect. So as to say, they are doing so much for the nation. I won't have time to talk about large number of different initiatives that they have taken. But this initiative is a very special one. I remember our conversation. You know, the most coveted award in science is Shantaswarup Bhatnagar Prize, as you know. I remember when I received it, it was 20,000 rupees. I don't know, there are so many other awardees, what amount they had received, but I remember when I became the DG of CSR, we made it into 2 lakh. And my successors made it into 5 lakh. Okay? And today we find that no money is associated with that award, and it has been converted into some different form. I mentioned this. I'm not going to go into the merits of what has happened, but I was discussing this with Rahul, and he said, why don't we create our own award? Okay? 5 lakh. It was 5 lakh, we'll create a 5 lakh award. And he created this Vigyan Maharshi Puraskar on his own. And then we are talking in terms of a gathering like this, where the best of minds in science and technology and innovation come together. As you know, Indian Science Congress had got into disarray. It was one of the most preeminent congresses where around 5,000 scientists used to gather. Actually comes in. For example, H.K. Firude Award, Science and Technology. This is the 26th year, and I've been associated with right from the beginning. When it started, it was 2 lakh. And that was the highest, by the way. And of course, then came Infosys, 50 lakh award, etc. Private sector, industrial enterprises have been doing it. But private sector institutions like yours, I think this is kind of historical sort of advance that you have taken. So I want to thank you as well as congratulate you for your great vision. And as was rightly pointed out, this is a meeting place of great minds, so as to say. Science is our future. Without science, there is no future. 2020, people call it year of pandemic. I call it a year of Indian science. Because when the virus hit us, pandemic hit us, COVID-19, we did not know what the virus was. We didn't have diagnostics, we didn't have therapeutics, we didn't have vaccines. And within 12 to 18 months, we not only had them, we were exporting them and taking care of not only our needs, but others. That's Indian science. Okay? I always believe that science must solve, technology must transform, and innovation must impact, and they have to go together. And that is the theme that we have built up. I mean, if you see the different sort of subjects on which we are going to focus our attention on, for example, artificial intelligence was mentioned, a film was shown. It is a game changer. It is such a disruption. 2 years ago, we did not even hear about generative AI. We didn't hear about ChatGPT, and it is changing the entire world. And I'm very happy that the booklet has been brought out, well before the conference began, which actually gives the summaries of all the talks. This also is rather rare in India, by the way. So you have it in your hand to actually see who is going to speak on what. And I went through from page 1 to page 2, and it is fascinating. Even in the area of artificial intelligence, there is so much of work that's being done. I saw papers on, thinking of new models and predicting new materials through them. I saw social media data analytics through artificial intelligence. I saw papers on how AI can help sustainability. I saw a combination of quantum physics and machine learning. Whole range of cutting edge sort of stuff. So it's a new field, but we are moving with an aspiration. So you will find enjoyable sessions, including the last one on science, spirituality, connection between neuroscience and spirituality, cognitive science related issues, and so on and so forth, etc. So it's a totally holistic approach as far as this conference is concerned. I want to make a few remarks with regard to Indian science, and particularly how do we become leaders in that, not followers? How do we become first and not second? And I would imagine that India is capable of doing that, and I will give you reasons why. You know, I was giving the INSA Platinum Jubilee lecture many years ago, almost 15 years ago, and I was just going through it. Since I had to talk today, I said, what did I say 15 years ago? So Pradeep, what I found was that I had said that we have been looking through windows that others have opened. It is time that we create new windows ourselves, through which others will look. You know what I mean? Wittners Müller has a breakthrough on low temperature superconductivity. We all work on that. They have opened the door. There's a breakthrough on graphene. We all work on that. There's a breakthrough on carbon nanotubes. We all work on that. And so on. We can go on. When are we going to create the windows through which others will look? Like Pradeep, your wonderful paper in Science, I'm sure you'll make a reference to that. It's an amazing breakthrough and a discovery that has happened. That is very close to my heart. That is very close to my heart. And if you see, actually, the book by Jayant Narlikar, by the way, let us wish him a happy birthday today. It is his 86th birthday. Let there be a big round of applause which you can hear. So, when you look at that scientific age book, just to reflect on where we are, where we were. If you look at scientific age, for example, you find that something magical has happened pre-1950s and something after 1950. If you look at pre-1950, of course, he lists out 10 top achievements of Indian science and technology. The first is Ramanujan. I don't have to explain that to you. The second is Meghna Saha, you know, who opened the door for stellar astrophysics. The third is S.N. Bose, you know, particle statistics, and you all know Bose-Einstein equation, and then the boson and the rest of it. He opened the doors for new ideas on statistics of microsystems, you know, that obey the rules of quantum theory. I think that's the door he opened. Then you look at C.V. Raman, of course, molecule scattering light, the Raman effect, new way to study internal structures. And then, of course, G.N. Ramachandran, structural molecular biology, besides triple conjugacy. If you look at these five, these are before 1950s. All right, India was a poor country, but rich up here. Ideas. I always say it is not the power of budget, but the power of ideas that matter. Budget didn't come in their way. And each one of them were Nobel Prize worthy, by the way, the kind of breakthroughs that they had. They didn't get it is a sort of a simple matter. Double helix got it, but triple helix didn't get it. That's a sort of tragedy of that. But if you look at post-1950, what do you see? You see he lists out one, nuclear power, second, green revolution, third, our space program, fourth, certain breakthroughs in high temperature superconductivity, and fifth is the CSR transformation that happened in 1990s when I was Director General of CSIR. I'm very grateful to him that he listed that. But if you see, that is all organized science. There are no individual breakthroughs like your science paper or sort of others. And therefore we have to ask ourselves, in order to become a leader, what do we have to do? And I think it is obvious that we have to move from the syndrome of a follower to that of a leader. I have my book here, Leapfrogging to Pole Vaulting. मराठीत ज्याला बेडूकुडी ते हनुमान उडी म्हणतात. तुम्हाला मराठी येतं त्यामुळे मराठीत सांगितलं. This is what we need to do. Not following, not fast following, not leading, not leapfrogging, but pole vaulting. Because frog leaps because he's afraid of the predator and jumps a few feet. We have to pole vault. The size of the pole is size of our aspiration. And if this is the aspirational journey that we want to create till Viksit Bharat, then what do we have to do? I'll just put 5-point agenda for you. In 10 minutes, I'll finish my talk. The first is science that leads and not follows. You know, after Nobel Prize, there are 2-3 awards which are considered most important. One of them is Fellowship of Royal Society. You signed in the same book that Newton has signed. And in terms of engineering science, there have been only 3 engineering scientists who are signed in that book from India. Happens to be Rodham Narasimha, is no more, Professor Sharma and myself. Why should there be only 3? Why not 30? That is the question. That's the first question. The second question is that there is what is called as the Queen Elizabeth Prize of Engineering, which is a kind of Nobel Prize in engineering. It goes to breakthroughs which have changed the world. Like the very first went to Tim Berners-Lee, internet, right? It changed the world. GPS, and so on and so forth. I've been on a jury for the last 7 or 8 years. And each time I come back from London, I ask myself, when are we going to have such breakthroughs? It is true that we use digital technologies to create fascinating sort of applications, as you will hear. Even in AI, you will hear that. But when are we going to have those breakthroughs which are worthy of such things? How do we achieve that? And particularly, it is very important to not only make a difference, but a big difference. You know, I have seen my science all my life, I have seen that although you write hundreds of papers, there are 4 or 5 which make a difference, finally. Because that is where the rest like MIT is very famous. I remember Narayan Murthy annoying many people, as a matter of fact, when he made that comment, what has Indian science done which has made a difference? And he gave the example of an MIT. And he said that one single institution, 10 inventions which have changed the world, like GPS, email, microchip, fax machine, and so on. He listed that. When are we going to do that? So can we imagine something where MIT will follow us? You understand? Can we do that science? I'll tell you. We had in our laboratory, and where geniuses like Ashish Lele, Shaini Varghese, and we had a breakthrough on what is called as acrylyl 6-amino-caproic acid as a magic molecule which balances out hydrophilicity and hydrophobicity. Pradeep, you were there in the lecture when I got the World Academy of Science, Lenovo Science Prize, and I spoke about that. Where has it gone? It has gone all around the world. It has found applications in stem cell differentiation, in oil well drilling, in enteric gastric coatings, in biomineralization. It's amazing. And the same MIT that I talked about, Bob Langer, which is considered to be a kind of guru's guru in terms of engineering science, he actually wrote a paper by using it, by the way, using A6-SCA. And I will quote from what he says. Although there have been extensive studies and commercial examples of gastric creative devices since 1975, this manuscript presents the first demonstration of both extremely prolonged gastric retention and safe gastrointestinal passage with the active combination of elastic and internal properties confined in one material. He considers a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is based on a poor laboratory in Pune, all right? And this is how MIT's work has been influenced where they say this is the best in 40 years that they have created. That's the kind of science one will like to actually do. The second is the issue of risk-taking. And that is very important. I mean, risk-taking is a gene I have. I remember when a director of NCL, I had created this kite flying fund. Wild ideas, 1 in 100, I will support it. When I went to CSR, I created a new idea fund. Didn't want to call it kite flying fund because Parliament was just 1 kilometer away and they would say public funds are being used for kite flying. All right. And then we created New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. Okay. And in each of these, there was an element of risk. And the kind of breakthroughs that came away, I mean, it was absolutely incredible. You know, in the Nimitli program, where said, cubicle assist for our programs, I said, it takes 6 to 8 months. Can you do it in 2 months? Very important for poor people. And yes, we got a breakthrough, a completely new molecule. We have been copying molecules, there was a new molecule. It failed in phase 2, but we created the first new molecule after rifampicin in 1962. Same scientists who were copying were able to do that. Or for example, we had put up this challenge of liquid crystal display 2 orders of magnitude faster. And we had liquid crystal research laboratory in Bangalore, Center for Liquid Crystal Research Laboratory. They created it. They got 2 US patents. But we did not have the ecosystem which could actually commercialize it. That's a different matter. I think the point I'm trying to make is that these grand challenges are extremely important. And we can, as a matter of fact, set ourselves the top goal. It is very important, not incremental, not 10%, 10x. For example, can we put a grand challenge on electrochemical green ammonia synthesis from air and water? From water you take hydrogen and from air you take nitrogen, or seawater electrolysis. We are going to fall short of water as we sort of move along. These are incredible. So therefore, the third thing I want to say is that we get stuck by differentiating between basic science and applied science. There is only one thing, science and its application. You know, I was writing on SS Bhatnagar recently, and way back in 40s, what he said was interesting. He says, research can scarcely be divided into watertight compartments. What is fundamental today may become very much applied research in a short time. Any artificial separation will render theory arid and practice petrified routine. All right? And there is no distinction. I myself saw that when I came to NCL in 1976. We didn't have foreign exchange, and therefore I would not get an equipment on which I wanted to work. So I said, what is the equipment? God has given me this one. And I shifted to mathematical modeling and simulation. 77, Professor Waghmare, I sort of started work, and it takes 5 years for Bhatnagar Prize. 82, I got the Bhatnagar Prize. All right, opened my sort of own windows. Now, what would you say? Is it basic science or applied science? If it is basic science, how did the industry benefit from which I was doing the work? Okay? And if it was applied science, industrial research, how did I get Bhatnagar Prize and my student K.R. got a PhD? So I think this distinction that we talk about, I think it will be better clear our minds. That's the thing. The fourth is the importance of true science-led innovation. You know, we talk about startups and all, okay? And you find only 5% of them or less are deep tech. The rest are all sort of incremental. How are we going to sort of do that? I think that is extremely important. And I remember in my mother's name, I have created Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award, where we say, I don't believe in best practice. You have to create next practice, which becomes best practice for others. All right, ahead of the rest of the world. And we have had breakthroughs, like for example, you want to know what has happened to the lung. There is this award winner, Shwasa, who uses artificial intelligence, training audiometry of a mobile phone. You just cuff into it and you know what's happened to you. Okay, and what difference it makes. The conventional spirometer takes 1.5 lakh. This is your smartphone. You just cuff into it, all right? The time taken is 60 minutes. Here it is instant. And the cost 1,500. Here hardly anything. These are breakthroughs, cutting edge. But this is the next practice. This is not the best practice. Best practice is spirometer. Similarly, there are examples. Now, in this conference, we are not discussing startups per se, but startups as a key generator of new ideas, new science is something that we have to seriously look at. For example, can we look at, let us say, in terms of new breakthroughs which are based on cutting-edge science, which make a global impact and create an next practice? I'll tell you one of the award winners, AxioStat. When you have an accident and you bleed, many times people die. Supposing that bleeding can be stopped in 2 minutes. There is a breakthrough that has been created that bleeding can stop. Has it gone global? Yes. 28 countries, basically. US FDA approved plus 28 countries. Militaries, they are sort of using it, stocking it, including the Indian military, but based on deep science. And that deep science has appeared in Proceedings of National Academy of Science in the January issue, by the way, because there is something which is kind of the next generation, because even when you have anticoagulant, blood thinning, blood flow doesn't easily stop, it stops, all right? That is the kind of breakthrough. I think the point I'm trying to make is high science-based innovation, not just incremental, not 10%, not copying, not reverse engineering. And final point I'd like to make, which is very close to my heart, is I'm very worried about the funding that we receive in research and development. It has been just, this last 10 years, it has come down from 0.7% to 0.64%. We are the only country where it has come down. We are a country where the average R&D spend as a percentage of GDP, we are lower than the world average. And that has to be pushed up. There have been good intentions, by the way, I must tell you. I've been member of Science Advisory Committee to the Prime Minister for almost 30 years, starting from Rajiv Gandhi's time. I remember meeting with Rajiv Gandhi on, it was 19 December 89. And I remember he said from 0.7% we'll move to 2%. T.N. Session, who has been our guru, he was a cabinet secretary. He told the Prime Minister, sir, we have no money. And I remember Rajiv ji telling him, Session ji, we'll keep 2% aside for science and technology. And the rest the country can have, because without science there is no future. Okay. Then came 2000 Indian Science Congress. I was the president. And I remember Atalji making a statement about 2%. 2011, Indian Science Congress, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh talked about 2%. And 2015, our current Prime Minister talked about 2%. It is nothing to do with Congress or BJP, because anything that you take, you start talking about Congress. It is not that. Every Prime Minister was committed, it has not happened. I think we have to seriously look at why it has not happened, and part of it has to be with industry. Because if you see the industry spend, the rest of it, rest of the world, it is 70%, 80% industry and 20% government. Here it is exactly the reverse. And our industrial spend has been constant at almost 0.2%. Okay? And if you look at other countries, China, Korea, US, Israel, they are anywhere between 5 times to 11 times more. South Korea is the maximum, 11 times more. So how do we actually sort of raise that is something that we have to look at. We have to understand the competitive advantage that India has. I have recently published a paper where I compared what is the cost competitiveness, the ratio of US spend in R&D versus that in India for R&D, invest in research for producing the same output of research papers. If India is 1, UK is 2, that means UK is twice as expensive. All right, Australia is 4 times, China is 5 times, Germany 6 times, US 7 times, and Japan is 12 times. I remember Jack Welch, while inaugurating the Jack Welch R&D Center, saying, we get the highest intellectual capital per dollar here. What it means is that if we invest more, our competitiveness will be even higher. It is not that because we can get more from less that we should reduce. I think this is something that we need to do. And I think here the most important thing is to be creative about it in terms of public-private partnerships, like the New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative program that we had. It was incredible. Basically, just now, our Honorable Prime Minister launched the fully indigenous fuel cell created by a Cochin shipyard, by the way, because the idea is using hydrogen, green hydrogen, and the only exhaust is water. So pollution-free, no diesel, nothing. And the idea is to green all the waterways. It's an indigenous technology, but we started the work at a point in time when nobody talked about fuel cell. That is risk-taking, and that is where we are. Public-private partnerships of this kind, and here KPIT Technology is the private partner, NCS, Sekri, Karaikudi, etc. are the other partners. I'd like to end by just saying that these are 5 points that occurred to me, and I'm quite sure 50 more points will come during your deliberations, but I thought I'll put my foot down. I would only suggest finally, I go back to this book. This should be the spirit, leapfrogging to pole vaulting, all right? And in order to pole vault, what do? You normally start with zero velocity and accelerate, right? And while accelerating, higher the acceleration, the better the speed, the higher you go. And while accelerating, if there are, let's say, speed breakers, you have to start all over again. I think we have to get rid of speed breakers. And those speed breakers are bureaucracy. When paper becomes more important than people, when process becomes more important than people, when appearing to be right becomes more important than being right, and when if you want to get approvals, the time taken is more than the product life cycle itself, then there is a challenge. And our bureaucracy has not decreased, bureaucracy has increased. I think there has to be a fair chance given to our Indian scientists. They are capable of pole vaulting. 2047, I'm quite sure India will be a leader among the Committee of Nations. I won't be there to see that day, but I'd like to make a request to the God, take away the rest of whatever life I have, but give me one day when I can come and see in 2047 my Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much.
I think let's rise in our seat and give a standing ovation and a big round of applause, my friends, to Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, sir. What a speech, what an address. It was indeed pleasure. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause Shri Rahul V. Karat, sir.
Thank you, Professor Bharat. Please sit down, my friends. Janani Janmabhumisha Swargatapi Gariyasi. On behalf of the bodies of trustees and our beloved founder, let me once again welcome all the respected scientists for the different parts of the country they have come. Today it was a wonderful session. I was told in the morning, I was stuck up in Delhi. But today for the inauguration, what just now we heard, most respected Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, sir. I think this very concern, sir, Karat, sir, I just requested him because he has some Zoom call meeting just upstairs planned. So just because, after I have said previously also, my dear students, in 1 or 2 speeches, that after our founder, my father, Dr. Karat, whom I respect the most, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar ji, who played a very important role in our institution lifetime and my lifetime, my transformation also. You are an inspiration, sir. You are concerned for the country. All the time this particular, I have been hearing so many speeches that you give the challenge in front of the country to your scientific innovations and other things and other respected scientists, scientific, those discoveries I do not want to mention here. Neither I have that authority. Respected Pradeep ji is here, GD Yadav sahab, you are here. Long back, Dr. Bhatkar sir was challenged by Rajiv Gandhi ji कि इतने बड़े आबादी में कोई माई का लाल नहीं है सुपर कंप्यूटर पैरेलल कंप्यूटिंग बनाने वाला. तो ये सब चीजें मुझे हमेशा इतने सालों से from so many years I have been hearing from Dr. Mashelkar sir, Dr. Bhatkar sir, and that's how this conference, sometime before when he mentioned Rahul Bhatnagar Award के बारे में मुझे थोड़ा concern है. हमें भारत में इतने सारा population है, इतने सारे लोगों को achievements की जरूरत है in the Western countries. We have learned many things from the Western world, but somewhere it is not just all the time cut, copy, paste approach. You know, the other day I was in Arizona State and 300 vehicles were roaming on the road without driver. And I was carrying a fear. How can I get in? In 2017, they launched this vehicle. My dear students, I must tell you, all of you, that, and actually, many such discoveries or some such, many our Indians have also worked on that project and many other great people, but when do we take the leadership? That is a concern what Dr. Mashelkar said all the time, is emotions. So that's how, to challenge all the student community here, we requested all 20,000 students in this particular university that they must come forward, and some 400 to 500 students have registered. Am I right, Professor Pandey? That they have come forward, and we said that they must get connected. Whatever area and discipline, now there are different streams are there, different areas of scientists, they are available here, and we requested those students, and even our 800 faculties, Raghunath Mashelkar sir, that out of those 800 faculties, some 70, 80 faculties who believe in hardcore research. Of course, others are in teaching and various other responsibilities, but who really want to dedicate themselves for the research, they also have come forward. So I said, please take the benefit. And here is, though we are a private, Professor Mashelkar sir just now said about the government funding, so many other concerns, the budgets issue, the bureaucracy issue, and so many. But we as a private institution, country has 500 universities, private universities. We have a role to play, and we have such a large student body, my dear friends. So much can be done, and so that's how me as a, just in next 2 days' time, we are going to have 150 officers. We are invited, IS officers, IPS officers. So this institution, the very seed what is sowed by our beloved founder, Dr. Karat, about all the time change, transformation, societal transformation. So thank you, Ashok Joshi ji, for your great efforts. This conference wouldn't have been a success. I think this is a, as Dr. Mashelkar said, 2047. And I'm very, very confident that in the vastness of the country, this particular institution of National Scientist Roundtable Conference will go a long way. But Mr. Kale, I want to compliment you. You are a senior scientist. Kamtekarji, Professor Pandey, you all have my Vice Chancellor, of course, respected Shri R.M. Chitnisji, and Professor Pandey, my Pro-Vice Chancellor. Just wave the hands. Everybody knows, and our inaugural Vice Chancellor, 7 years back when we became the university, Professor Jay Gore is also sitting here. I want to thank you. And in the last minute, sir, because I said that this time, Dr. Mashelkar sir, Karat sir, you have very well, so far your friendship, and you further blessed me. I said, this is a scientist conference. I'm not going to go to Mashelkar sir. You guys convinced. I don't know what they did with you. And finally you involved, but GD Yadav sir. And all those tracks, and very systematically, and he was so concerned, this conference, how it should evolve. So, Shevgavkar sir, I think I'm very happy to see you here. Some of the faces I know. And Professor, thank you for coming all the way, the Vice Chancellor from Chandigarh University, Namaskar ji, and many other respected members. So we take this particular platform with a solid rigor. So all the student community, and we all work together and see that, that concern what is raised by Dr. Mashelkar sir and Dr. Bhatkar sir and all you scientific community. This becomes a very important voice. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for that enlightening address. My friends, I'm really happy to share with you that MIT World Peace University has become a place that Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar sir was talking about. We are a place under the able leadership where students learn, students do research, because we have various programs to learn different aspects of life. We have various research programs, so students learn, students do research, students innovate, because we have probably the largest hackathon competition of the country, and then students incubate. We have the incubation center also at MIT World Peace University. So the end-to-end life cycle that Mashelkar sir was addressing, learn, research, innovate, and incubate, is available at MIT World Peace University, and indeed, it is our honor and privilege. My friends, now it's time when I'm going to request the Joint Managing Trustee of MIT Group of Institutions, Professor P.B. Joshi sir, to address the gathering. But before I do that, I request all of you to once again pay attention to all the addresses that are happening here, because I'm sure all the students, teachers, faculties and professors would have takeaways from each of the address. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause Professor P.B. Joshi ji.
Good afternoon. This is not a very serious conference, so have a joyous atmosphere over here. I'm going to talk about the areas which are emerging areas where the future work will take place. And the areas are energy, materials, and manufacturing. These are the three broad areas. In manufacturing, I consider robotic, automation, etc., etc. Now in the energy, this is the basic issues. Energy, we are importing, our 80% of our import is oil. We produce only 20% in Bombay and Assam and all that. So, what we should do about the energy? We are gifted with so much of solar power, so that if we can use the solar energy, the cost of solar PV was very high. Now it has come down because of a lot of research being done in that. Similarly, the electricity board, they have started reverse metering also. And therefore, you will find that our solar PV production will go leaps and bounds. I find that, I will give you the example of our MIT group. All our roofs, we have made an agreement with a company for 25 years period. They have installed all solar PV, and we used to pay 10 rupees 70 paisa per unit. Now we are required to pay 6 rupees 70 paisa. So that is the saving we are doing, and this is just because of one small institution we have got. Our complete Maharashtra or complete India, if we take it, I think there is a very, very, very big challenge before us, how the solar PV cost should go down. That is number one. E-technology. Now you will find that lot of our pollution, particularly in the cities, is because of automobiles. And the solution for that is the e-vehicles. Now e-vehicles, there is a problem about the battery technology, charging stations, etc., etc. But slowly and slowly we are taking it over. I have got an EV vehicle with me and made by Tata Tigor, and my experience is extremely good. That means EV technology will slowly take over the petrol and diesel. So that is the area for the future. Regarding the materials, this is the area where large amount of work will go on. Particularly the composites. There is a tremendous scope for the composite technology, similarly for the nanomaterials also. We have a project in our department where for the radiator manufacturing company, we put nanoparticles in the circulating fluid, and we find there is a increase in the heat transfer by about 20%. So therefore, for the same energy transfer, they will use 20% less material. So there is a big challenge. We are in discussion with them how our research can be used, put into the practice. So composites is a tremendous field. One of our other projects taken by one of our faculty members is, they have developed a substrate, and if you pass the water over that and a UV light, then the water gets, the effluent gets purified. And we are talking with Maharashtra Pollution Control Board, and we are in the discussion stage. So that is how we want to put into the practice what we have done. And last one is the robotics and automation. Robotics and automation. We have a undergraduate course in robotics and automation. There is another view expressed that we have got such a large population, so why we should go for automation. When the computers were introduced, the same debate was taking place, but you will find that robotics and automation will create large number of opportunities for our young generation. And robots are mainly used in the place where hazardous areas where the human being cannot go. So there robotics can play a good part. And the last thing I want to say is that we have an incubation center here in our campus. We have got 53 active startups, not registered, active startup. We have got 12,000 square feet of area. And whenever you find time, you visit our technology incubation center. And some of the startups are really very good. But you find all over India statistics shows that the success rate of startups is 10%, not more than 10%, because of number of reasons that I will not go to into details. But there is a good scope for the startups in our country. The student community, I will tell you that you are very fortunate because very few students get an opportunity to study beyond 10th and 12th. You have got that opportunity. Very few percent of them get an opportunity to go for professional education. You are one of them. So make use of this facility. I will tell the student community here, because large number is here, that take part in the activities other than your academic work. That will give you a good opportunity of developing the leadership, working in a team, so on and so forth. Lastly, I will say that the conference, which is the brainchild of our Rahul Karad, incidentally he is my student, and this conference is a success because we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And I will suggest to Rahul that for we should have 4 conferences in a year dedicated to one compartment. And these 4 conferences will give a better output rather than 4 clubbing it together. I wish this conference a good success, and I will wish that Rahul will take it further. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And now it's time, my friends, when I'm going to request the special guest of honor of this session, Padma Shri Dr. G.D. Yadav ji, to kindly address the gathering. But before I do that, I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film.
It is with great enthusiasm that we welcome a trailblazing scientist whose innovative approaches have reshaped the landscape of chemical engineering. Honorable Dr. Ganpati Yadav, former Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and Padma Shri awardee. Dr. Ganpati Yadav's illustrious career is marked by his groundbreaking work in chemical engineering and his visionary leadership in academia. As the former Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, his efforts have led to significant advancements in research and education. His innovative research in green chemistry and catalysts has had a transformative impact driving sustainable practices and technological advancements in the chemical industry. Dr. Yadav's dedication to scientific excellence and his commitment to fostering innovation have earned him numerous accolades, including the prestigious Padma Shri Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our esteemed special guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Ganpati Yadav.
Please put your hands together, my friends, and welcome Padma Shri Dr. G.D. Yadav ji.
The most revered doctor.
Just I wish to, because I forgot to mention that, of course, Dr. Mashelkar sir was guiding overall, very the skeleton, but the minute details, Professor G.D. Yadav ji last almost 6 months with Joshi ji and Professor Pandey, Professor Chitnis, Professor Kamtekar, Professor Kale. I don't know how many hours you have invested, Professor. Thank you so much. We all respect you, sir. Your involvement in this mission will go long way. Dhanyavad. I forgot to mention in my, because Dr. Mashelkar was just moving. Namaskar ji.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you very much. Most revered Dr. Vishwanath Karad, Professor Joshi, Professor Pradeep, Dr. Joshi, Dr. Jay Gore from Purdue. I just reconnected with him. I spent some time in Purdue. Dr. Chitnis, Dr. Kamtekar, Dr. Kare, and Professor Wagmare and other distinguished guests here. I have a meeting at 5:30, so I cannot be talking beyond that. There is another meeting going on in Delhi where I'm supposed to participate and talk on something. But ladies and gentlemen, since you have heard, many of you have heard me this morning, so I would not repeat any of that thing, but only 3 things I would like to tell you. We have to be number 1 in 2047, Viksit Bharat, not number 2 or number 3. And we come backward and say what should be done. One of the most important things, because MIT, which was established by Dr. Karad and his friends in COEP, if I'm not mistaken, created something out of nothing, out of zero. Now we are talking about zero net goal, but they started something out of zero and converted that into a fantastic place. So you can look at the vision. So this conference was created to bring together scientists from different disciplines and the best of the minds in India. And why we gathered together, Professor Joshi, I want to tell you, you said 4 verticals, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry to say that, because when you bring people from different disciplines, you come to know new terminologies. You can collaborate, because these days science research or engineering research is no longer pure, it is all hybrid. Your expertise from different areas is required to advance in science, and therefore conference of this kind will definitely help everybody. Like you heard Dr. Pradeep and Dr. Wagmare, many of the things you might not have heard before. So it is very important. So another thing is that we cannot undermine in our country the value of higher education, and particularly higher scientific and technical education. Susan Huckfield, who was the first president of MIT Cambridge in Boston, she said, universities are engines of economic growth. And the economic growth of a nation is driven by universities. And although she was a medical doctor, she collected, and collaboration also. In Sustainable Development Goals, 17th number is collaboration. So she was a medical doctor, but she gathered expertise from some 30 odd universities in Boston and collaborated, generated $3 billion funds to do advanced research. She did not say, MIT, we are peso, therefore we will not collaborate with others. No, that is not correct. So she set an example. And why she said that? Because you will find that in 1970, India, China, and USA were not far different. our rupee was not far different from the American dollar. And then something happened. The first tipping point happened in 1974 when the oil embargo was there. Muhammad Gaddafi started that because he said, I would like to control the world. That is the time a lot of research started in United States, in India. We also found Bombay High because of that, because the restrictions were put on us. Restrictions were put on us in atomic energy also. We were denied advanced technology. India developed its own. So the necessity is mother of invention. That is true even here. And again in 1995, another tipping point happened in these three countries. Another particularly point happened in these three countries. The biotechnology. Particularly in United States, that is the biotechnology revolution. Although we were together in 1970, they went far ahead. We were together in 1970. Today, they went far ahead. American economy is today 20 point something. American economy is 20. Chinese is closer to 20 trillion, and we Chinese is closer to 20 trillion, and we are aiming at 5 trillion by 2025. Why it happened? Because they invested in research, innovation, and universities were promoted. Research, innovation, and universities were promoted. Responsible for one-third of GDP of USA. Responsible for one-third of GDP of USA. That is in Boston. One is the so-called gene town, that is in Boston, and another is in the east part of the country, and another is the so-called that is Stanford industry. So Stanford and MIT alone. So Stanford and MIT alone contribute one-third of the GDP of alumni contribute one-third of the GDP. We have so many IITs. They are all elite institutions. We have so many IITs. Contribute so much. They are all elite institutions. Do they contribute so much? UDCT. We contribute to 8% of UDCT ICT. How many? We contribute to 8% of India GDP. How many of you comes from graduates? 8% of India GDP comes from graduates. And Mukesh Ambani leads the pack in that. Okay, and Mukesh Ambani leads the pack in that. Okay, Mukesh Ambani is our student, chemical engineer. So you don't have to tell anything beyond that. So government university research is university research. So government must promote university research. For that we required policy. What should be done? We have a policy. For that we required policy. Our bureaucrat sits on the file, doesn't pass anything. Our bureaucrat sits on the file, doesn't pass anything outside. Directors are because they don't get tunes outside. Which is bad. Because they don't want to be really Viksit Bharat, this is and if you want to be really Viksit Bharat, we have to policy change, research and innovation. We have to promote research and innovation. And what is happening? Dr. Mashelkar mentioned 2%. And what is happening? Dr. Mashelkar mentioned about 2%, 0.64%. So I will tell you about 2%. You know, right now the corporate social responsibility. It is mandatory. Fund is 2%. Industry is supposed to spend that money. And only certain areas are supposed to spend that money. Like, and only certain areas are given. Like, or something which is tribal by everybody. So most of these funds were not being utilized. So most of these funds were next 3 years you can. So government changed this policy. Said next 3 years you can spend next 3 years. That is government. If you can't spend this year, they realize money next 3 years. That is government did that because they realized money is not being spent. So in Niti Aayog there was a meeting. So in Niti Aayog there was a meeting. Vice Chancellor. I was the only state central university. Vice Chancellor. All others were CFI. Central universities. Centrally funded institutions. CFI. And what everybody centrally funded institutions. Give me 10,000 and what everybody said. 1,000 crore. 5,000 give me 10,000 crore. Give me 1,000 crore. Yadav means 5,000 crore. Okay. So when Yadav means I was the last person to speak. I said. So I was the last person to speak. I best brands. They have brought value. IITs are our best brands. They have brought value to our IITs and allied institutes. Give them whatever they want. Our IITs and allied government should give them whatever they want so that they can develop. Government should give money IITs so that they can develop really good technology. At least give me technology institutes. But at least give me 5 crore. More than 5 crore. Then also I said I'm this not which demanding more than 5 crore. Then also I said this which I repeat here. In future, but you may not have HEPA, you may not have in future, you may not have HEPA, you may not have imprint, you may not have anything. You will curtail because you will have other priorities. Research and innovation because you will have other priorities. That is what exactly is happening now. So what that is what exactly is happening now. So what you should do, CSR money of 3%, industry 1% CSR money of 3%, and 1% should be spent on translation, innovation, higher education will not come to the government because higher education will not come to the government because this money will be provided by industry. And now that is what they are talking about in ANRF. This is the only way to make industry spend money. CSR, this is the only way to make 1%. CSR 3%, 1%. Government we can generate. Then that 2% to government funding is not required. Then that 2% to 3%. What Dr. Mashelkar was saying. Industry will contribute this way. That and what you industry will contribute. If the industry is giving money, and what you should let the technology be developed for them. If the industry is giving money, let them be the technology be developed for them. They have the first right of refusal. Suppose you develop technology. They have the first right of refusal. Suppose you develop technology. And then supposing you use first, let the technology be sold to others. Supposing you don't want, on the money split be sold to others. So what I did on the money split 50-50. If anybody gives me what I did in ICT, I said if anybody gives me money, we will give 50% to you. In IPR, we'll give you 50% IPR. I did that in ICT. What is required? So change in our policy is required. What is required? Then only the conference policy is required. Then only the conference will be really round. Round table will be really round. Ideas. So next year, what I'm supposing, a lot of ideas. So next year, what I'm supposing, I'm telling you that here. Next year, when this conference some of these guys who attended this conference, let some of these guys who attended this conference come next year and say that I picked up this idea from this conference and I developed this model, this startup company or whatever. See, otherwise we can meet, greet, have nice lunch. See, otherwise we can meet, greet, have nice lunch, nice dinner. And when we go, whatever we forget all that thing. That is not and when we go, when we forget all that thing. That is not required. The best of the minds. Conference to bring together new ideas. Best of the minds. Cross-breeding of ideas. New ideas. Because that is what is cross-breeding of ideas. Because that is what is required. So the 8 verticals which we thought when we meet him, you know what we thought? We said, first meet him AI. You know what ML you are talking. First is AI. Then we say advanced ML you are talking. But that is what materials. Then we say advanced materials. But that is literally what materials. Tomorrow is the materials world. If you are literally and figurative, you become more if you are more money, right? You become more advanced owner of more ideas. Agricultural technology. Advanced materials. Third. Agricultural then biotech. Agrotech. We thought of biotechnology. Then biotech. Okay. Then we thought of climate change and sustainability. Okay. Then we thought of climate change and sustainability because this is the word that is happening because of digital transformation. So that is happening because of digital transformation. So we added digital transformation to that. Is not possible unless the health of the nation is good. So that is not possible unless the health of the nation is good. So pharmaceutical industry is going to we added healthcare because pharmaceutical industry is going to give us a lot of money in industry. Indian pharmaceutical where a lot of money will be generated, technology where a lot of cheap drugs will be generated, technologies come out of the patents, cheap drugs will be developed. Then it becomes those who come out of the patents will be developed. Then it becomes generic drugs. That was the next. And lastly, we said that. So that was the next. And lastly, we said that. Why not have 3 years? Then scientific temper and spirituality, and that was then scientific temper and spirituality, and that was after looking at spirituality, and that is how all these things went come together, and that is how all these things went come together. So Professor Joshi becomes happiness. Why we brought these people together on one single platform? Why we brought these people new ideas, collaborative ideas, to generate new ideas, so collaborative ideas, collaborative research, so that the sustainable development goal, the first 2 are poverty removal and hunger removal. They will be achieved, but for which require goal number 9, and innovation, infrastructure. So lastly, I'll close my comments. So lastly, I'll close my comments. I'm fond of by quoting Rigved, Vedic. I'm fond of Sanskrit literature, Vedic literature. Let good knowledge, noble knowledge, let good knowledge from all directions. Noble knowledge come to us from all directions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that wonderful address, and I'm sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that wonderful address, and I'm sure the expectations that you're having from the Scientist Roundtable Conference, first national Scientist Roundtable Conference 2024, they would certainly be coming back next year with their success stories. Now it's time. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The research advisory board member of the Research Advisory Board member of NSRTC, Padma Shri awardee Professor T. Pradeepji, Padma Shri awardee Professor T. Pradeepji. But before I invite him to kindly address the gathering, I request my technical team to kindly relay.
Today, we are honored to introduce a distinguished scientist. We are honored to introduce a distinguished scientist, advanced groundbreaking research and significantly advanced our understanding Professor Science and Technology. Professor at Honorable Professor T. Pradeep, Professor at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Professor Padma Shri illustrious career. Professor T. Pradeep's illustrious career in nanotechnology and pioneering research in nanotechnology and material science. Madras. His innovative as a professor at IIT Madras, his innovative water purification has led to significant advancements in water purification, his development and environmental sustainable nanomaterials, development for affordable and sustainable nanomaterials for water purification, providing has had a transformative impact. Providing clean drinking water to millions. Professor earning him international scientific excellence. Professor Pradeep's commitment to address scientific world problems and his commitment to address real world problems, including the prestigious numerous accolades, including the prestigious Padma Shri Award. Please join us in welcoming. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest join us in welcoming. Honorable esteemed special guest of honor. Honorable
Please put
Professor
your hands
T.
together
Pradeep.
and welcome with a round of applause. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause Padma Shri Professor T. Pradeepji.
Well, what do I say after all these? What do I say after all these great men? First of all, let me. Dr. Vishwanath Karar, greet and thank Dr. Vishwanath Karar, all the people here, and who have put this great program here, who have put this great program together. Let me. I agree with. Mashelkar, agree with and Mashelkar and colleagues Yadav on their vision. On their vision. But let me, in the time that is short, let me in the time that is short, that I feel add one or two points that I feel science to me is a continuum. Science to me is a continuum. No barriers between disciplines. There are certainly no barriers between disciplines. Beyond the traditional disciplines of science. And also beyond the traditional disciplines of science. Science extends to all forms of knowledge. Science extends to all forms of knowledge. Is the vision of this institution. Is the vision of this institution. I heard from Dr. Vishwanath. What is really happening in institutions? But what is really happening in institutions? I'm coming from Chennai. In this great institution called. There are University of Madras. Just two students. There are doing just two students. Doing MA Tamil. And then I'm from Kerala. And in a university in Kerala. In a university in Kerala. In an institution, I have enough time, I was told. Yeah. An institution, I have enough time, I was told. University of Kerala. So again, the University of Kerala. Literature. Again, there are only Malayalam literature for the MA program. There are only two takers. Universities across the country. Languages are dying. Our number of other soft subjects are dying. Subjects are dying. At the same time, science is being practiced largely by women. 2 days ago, I was an introductory session that was put together by a college, a well-known college in Kerala. Postgraduate students were assembled. All the postgraduate students were assembled. The college sent me a picture because I run a conference as part of my friends in that college. As part of my in that hall of 400 students, In that hall of 400 students, 2 male students, there were only 2 male students of them, and 398 of them, they were all doing science. They were all doing science, economics. They were doing commerce, economics. And they were doing commerce, doing languages. They were doing languages. Where did the men go? Where did the men go? The men went to do, as the opportunities were limited, the men went away. As the opportunities were limited, the men went away to other. This country is going to get, going to be affected. This country is going to get, going to be affected by a great challenge. Colleges are going to be colleges are going to be manned. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what happens? There's nothing wrong with that. Is that when? But you know what happens? Women are the only teachers. When women are the only teachers, don't have study tours. The students don't have study tours. This is our country, and students don't get exposed to industry. Students don't get exposed to emerging things in other institutions. Get exposed to emerging things in other institutions like Indian Institute of Science. I am personally told about the lack of such opportunities. So the country is going to be faced with. So the country is going to be faced with. In many of these institutions in Chennai. In many of these institutions in Chennai, engineering institutions, I don't know about this particular place. 10 years ago, mechanical engineering, we used to have 10 years ago, mechanical engineering, we used to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I branches. And today what has happened to mechanical engineering? And those today what has happened to mechanical engineering? In those very same colleges, we have just barely difficult to be filled. And B is what has happened difficult to artificial intelligence, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and to artificial intelligence, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and this country. We can't get people to man shops. We can't get people in engineering to man shops. Disciplines. In engineering, so there is going to be a great imbalance. So there is going to be a great imbalance. This country is going to be faced. What else is this country is facing? Well, I'm a chemist. This country is facing. We have 5,000 chemistry graduates. We have 5,000 chemistry graduates coming out of universities with PhD every year. How many are we employing? In the best How many are we employing? Put together, the best of institutions, we don't employ 500. Put together, we don't employ 500. So what happened to this 4,500 people? So what happened to this 4,500 people? So I was with PhD going down a Madurai bridge, overbridge. Going down a Madurai bridge, overbridge. Give a talk. To go to a college to give a talk. Was employing, and the college PhDs in chemistry was employing, and also in other branches PhDs in chemistry. And also in other branches, man was an assistant professor, and this young man came to the airport, an assistant professor, Madurai Airport, who came to the airport to pick me up, Madurai Airport. 8,000. I was told that he was getting 8,000 rupees. Shocked to hear this. But I know. Shocked to hear this. Employment. This market has become such that employment. This market has become such. PhD. Biology PhD, chemistry PhD, physics biology PhD. What have you? These subjects are all. What have you? Flooded with subjects are all, and they are not being flooded with people. Of course, employability is another question. Of course, employability is another question. What is this message that is going to our students today? What is this message that is going to our students? Are not attractive. Basic sciences are not attractive. Only select disciplines are becoming attractive. And only select disciplines are becoming attractive. For a Viksit Bharat, there must be opportunities in every discipline. There must be opportunities, and we have to build our science. We have to build our science. We have to build our institutions. We have to build our nation where every discipline gets opportunity has to be distributed. Just as we talk about GDP has to be distributed. Disciplines have to get there if the country has to rightful place. If the country has to be. What is that institutions for that? What is that institutions
from an IIT.
have to do?
About 20
See, I'm from an
years
IIT.
ago, I remember going
About
to Senate,
20
one Senate
years
meeting.
ago, I remember going to
defending
Senate,
one Senate meeting.
well, and
one of our
defending
distinguished colleagues
said that
one of our distinguished
why
colleagues
should chemistry be
said
taught
that
to engineers?
why should chemistry be taught to engineers?
And I had to
And
sort of shoot him down.
I
Say that
had to
why
sort of
chemistry
down.
has to be taught
Say that
because
why
concrete is
chemistry has to be taught because
civil engineering
concrete
is chemistry and all our other engineering
Civil engineering is chemistry and all
well,
our
there is
other
a chemistry
engineering is
component in
chemistry.
it. Of course, chemistry
Well, there is a
was
chemistry
retained
component
in
in
the
it.
syllabus. Of course,
But
chemistry
what
was
has
retained
happened
in the syllabus.
over the
But
years,
what
in
has
this past
happened
30 years or
over
so,
the years,
disciplines
in this past
have
30 years or
created
so, boundaries.
disciplines
between
have
themselves.
created boundaries.
Although
between
you may
themselves.
say, and I may say that material
Although
science
you may
is
say,
largely
and I may say that material
metallurgy
science
or
is
metallurgy
largely materials.
metallurgy or
No
metallurgy is
materials
largely
person is
materials.
absorbed in metallurgy departments.
No
today.
materials person is absorbed in metallurgy departments today.
We have increasingly created disciplinary
We have
boundaries.
increasingly created disciplinary
And unless
boundaries.
these disciplinary boundaries disappear,
And unless these disciplinary
unless
boundaries
people
disappear,
like, people who are doing
unless
fascinating
people like,
physics,
people who are
can
doing
enter into
fascinating
electrical engineering
physics,
departments,
can enter into
people who
electrical
are doing
engineering
fantastic
departments.
biology can get into
People who are
biotechnology
doing
departments.
fantastic biology can
People
get
who
into
are doing
biotechnology
great
departments.
chemistry and discoveries
People who are
can
doing
get into
great
chemical
chemistry
engineering
and
departments, and
discoveries
vice versa.
can get into chemical engineering departments, and
We
vice
will
versa.
not build a Viksit Bharat. A Viksit Bharat
We
to
will
me
not build a Viksit Bharat. A Viksit
is
Bharat to me
celebrating disciplines.
is
Celebrating
the
disciplines.
power of every discipline,
Celebrating
the power of every
between
discipline,
themselves, equally,
and creating opportunities
between
for
themselves,
everyone, and creating
for that
opportunities
institutions
for
can
everyone.
do great things.
For that
And what Rahul
institutions
was,
can do great
Rahul
things.
Karad was talking
And what
about.
Rahul was
Sort of,
Rahul Karad was talking
how
about.
do we celebrate
Sort of disciplines.
How do we
by
celebrate
disciplines
rewards,
by groups
by
of this
awards,
kind,
rewards,
congregations of this kind,
groups of this
continuous
kind,
engagements of this
people,
kind, continuous
promoting
engagement with
innovation,
people, a continuous
promoting
innovation, a continuous fashion should happen
all
in
that
institutions of this kind.
should happen
in
you
institutions
are
of this
lighting
kind.
a lamp.
And you are
lighting
this
a
lamp continue.
Let
This lamp,
and let this
continue.
lamp be lit
in every
and let
institution
this lamp be lit
across the country.
in
every institution
the barriers
across the country.
disappear.
Thank you very much.
Let
the barriers disappear. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I request all the
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
give a
much.
standing
I
ovation all the Pradeep ji to give a standing
Thank you, sir, for your
Pradeep ji.
wonderful speech.
Thank you, sir,
for
and,
your wonderful speech.
I think these
And,
were some of the thoughts.
I think these were some of the thoughts.
All the members
You know, all the time.
here
Please
and
sit down.
As
Please, I request all the
Prakash
members to
Joshi
sit
mentioned
here. And
sometime before,
as
about
Prakash
and
Joshi ji
further
mentioned
GD Yadav
sometime
said
before
about the
interdisciplinarity.
and further
GD Yadav ji said about the
interdisciplinarity.
So many problems in the
Because the
society.
problem solving
Joshi
the
sir,
traffic
we have
problem of so many
trying
problems in
to
the
promote
society.
in our university.
Joshi sir, we have been
trying
all
to
the
promote in
disciplines
our
work
university
together.
that
and
all the
it is
disciplines
nothing new
work
as such.
together.
You yourself, you are a very
And
senior
it is
academic
nothing
leader
new
and a
as such.
researcher.
You yourself,
But,
you are a very
but-
senior
but-
academic
but my
leader
dear
and a
students,
researcher. But
what Pradeep ji
said
but
just
my
now,
dear
and
students,
that
what
real
Pradeep ji
concern
said
sometime
just
before I
now,
couldn't
and
really
that
complete my speech.
a
since
real
Dr. Mashelkar
concern
wanted to
sometime
leave
before I
this hall.
couldn't really complete my speech since Dr.
because of
Mashelkar
some
wanted
other
to leave this
commitment.
hall. But the fundamental
because of
sciences,
some
basic
other
sciences,
commitment.
we are really going
But
away,
the
my dear
fundamental
friends.
sciences, basic
How
sciences,
do we
we are
create
really
our
going
own
away,
pride
my
for
dear
the
friends.
country, and
How do we
such
create our
in
own
the
pride for the
sports and
country?
many
And
such areas, I
such
see
a, in the
sports
how
and many
much
such
Olympic
areas,
award
I see
winners and
Commonwealth
how
Games
much
in
Olympic
everywhere,
award
many
winners
people
and
internationally whenever I
Commonwealth
go,
Games in
country
everywhere,
of your size,
many
my
people
friend,
internationally whenever I go,
there are hardly
country
few
of your
people, we
size,
do
my
not have a
friend,
sports culture in
how
our
come
country.
there are hardly few
So
people,
today
we do
this
not
is
have
a
a
subject
sports
of
culture in our scientists,
country.
the science, the
So
technology,
today this is a subject
and
of
for that very
scientists, the
purpose,
science, the
how do
technology,
we create a pride
and
for
for that
the
very
75 years
purpose,
have now
how do we create a pride for the 75
and
years
the-
have now
our
we have
independence,
completed
we have
last
come quite far,
and our
but
independence
still,
we have
I
come
believe that
quite far,
As Judy Yadav also I believe that the growth engines of the country, as Judy Yadav also institutions, these are the growth engines of the country. And that's how very meticulously this conference, I request all the student community. And that's how very meticulously this conference, I request all the student community. Please see that as according to your interest area, Pradeep ji, see and many such hold of important scientists who are going to be there for next 2 days. And many such important scientists who are going to be there for next 2 days. And develop the relationship, develop the bond and see that उनकी आप उंगली पकड़ेंगे तो कहाँ से कहाँ तक आप जा सकते हैं। तो ये अपेक्षा है और यहाँ के हमारे ये जो फोरम, ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है और यहाँ के हमारे खाली स्टूडेंट्स नहीं बट आने वाले समय में और भी कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशंस इस तरीके के फोरम शुरू हो सकते हैं। मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि बहुत सारा अच्छा भी काम हो रहा है प्रदीप जी। मुझे हमेशा लगता है लेकिन बहुत सारा अच्छा भी काम हो रहा है प्रदीप जी। आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ लेकिन समवेयर इवन द रिकॉग्निशन आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ सच पीपल इज वेरी क्लेवर इन दैट। दे हैव and really understood very well that is very clever in that. They have really understood very well that having a lot of pain when GD Yadav said, you know what, the greatest scientist having a lot of pain when GD Yadav said, the greatest scientists and how they are treated by the government, people of at stature, you know, how they are treated by the government. That culture at various levels. So I many challenges. Somewhere that culture need to be developed. We were having many challenges. But now we can't really afford if we have come here. But now we can't really afford. I think we will lose the race. So same behavior if we continue, I think we will lose the race. So Mashelkar carry it forward. The scientist like Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar and the emotions. Bhatkar sir and the same voice I could see and the emotion. I could and I always believe many times our scientists also they are little shy. And I always believe many times our scientists also they are little shy. They have to go. They need to come out and they need to follow hardcore institutions. They have to go. They are good orators and they are hardcore researchers. Communicate. Not necessarily they are good orators and they are trying to communicate what they have done. So I think enough is said, and I think this very tone of this conference and the institutionalization of this tone of this conference. Once again, I want to institutionalization of our MIT 800 faculties. Once again, I want to appeal all faculties. Our MIT 800 faculties have expressed their desire. Faculties have come forward, and they have expressed their desire that they wish to work. You know. In this direction, मला खूप आनंद झाला आज की, you know, मी तुम्हाला बोलवलं म्हणजे आज मला खूप आनंद झाला पण जोशी सर मुझे तुम्हाला बोलवलं म्हणजे आज तुम्हाला कोणीच बोलवलं पण जोशी सर मुझे आना है. Conferences and it is his areas. I mean, he likes scientific conferences and all such ideas he likes and more. Thank you, Pradeep ji, for your those wonderful remarks. And we will take it. Thank you, Pradeep ji, for your those wonderful remarks.
Thank you very much, sir.
We will take it ahead
for concluding it. Thank you very much, sir. My friends, we have been fortunate enough to have. My friends, we have been fortunate enough to have one such great scientist for the last 40 years, leading us from the front for the last 40 years, who firmly believes that only the union of science and spirituality, that only the union of science and spirituality will bring the harmony. I'm talking about none other than UNESCO chair about revered none other than Dr. UNESCO chair holder, revered Professor. He has done. Yes, of course. Don't be shy. Give a round of applause. He has done. Yes, of course, don't be shy. Give a round of applause if you wish. He has done experimentation. He has done development in his own areas, in his own ways. Development in his own areas, in his own ways. I request before I invite him to address the gathering, I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film.
It will become a Vishwa Guru in the 21st century. It will become a Vishwa Guru in the 21st century. We have only two options. We have only two options. Or we perish together. Either we live together, this, or we perish together. Context. It is in this monument will context. This monument will stand.
This magnificent dome. This magnificent dome, this is not just the biggest dome in the world. This is not just the biggest dome in the world. This is the biggest idea, the biggest message This is the biggest idea, the biggest
This
message.
country has always propagated one thought, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This country has always propagated one thought, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. My dear friend, after the independence, I must say that the entire history after the independence step towards the contribution of universal humanity. This is one of the unique steps towards the contribution of universal humanity. I appeal to the Vice President and Honorable Chief Minister. I appeal to the Vice President and Honorable Chief Minister as to recognize this word global importance as a structure of support and global importance, and such a way to promote it evolves as one of the such a way tourism destinations of the world, as one of the prominent tourism destinations of the world.
We should remember and respect like millions of people like that, and millions of people like that they have done. They should be remembered forever. That is also equally important for all of us. That is also equally important for all of us. Of this dome, this is the idea of this dome. This is the idea not only in size, but also in ideas. Not only in size, but also in ideas.
Members sitting on the dais, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, sir, Pradeep ji and all other friends, and all other audience friends. I can see a number of very learned scholars, thinkers and philosophers, a number of very learned scholars, thinkers and philosophers, the educationists, the vice chancellors, the eminent educationists. So much has been said by speakers on the stage, the eminent speakers on the stage, and philosophy behind, and conveyed the essence and philosophy behind national scientist roundtable first national scientist roundtable conference. A mention was made about the word spirituality. Friends, I sincerely feel, engineering, I had the fortune of writing a small article. About 30 years back. It was the 700th anniversary of Sanjeevan Samadhya, being an engineer, and being an engineer, a man of trying to understand what spirituality stands for. Trying to understand what spirituality stands for. In consultation with Vijay Bhatkar and even Mashelkar, about that very word, what is a pilgrim center? About that very word, what is a pilgrim center? We had a very elaborate discussion, I still remember it. And I think we had a very elaborate discussion, I still remember it, for the All India Science Congress at the time. And we were trying to understand the essence and philosophy behind these two words. The very essence and philosophy behind these two words. What is spirituality? What is science and what is spirituality? And I still remember my very great teacher, that time Dr. Surendra Barlinge, very great teacher, the man of philosophy, Dr. Surendra Barlinge, man of Sanskrit, the man of philosophy, man of mathematics, man of Sanskrit and man of mathematics. In the University of Pune, he was like a guru in my life. And I used to ask him a question, he was like a guru in my life. लेकिन ईश्वर को मानते नहीं थे. Where is God? He said, I don't believe in the concept of God at all. I don't believe in the concept of God at all. I, as a student of Mr. Barlinge, I am a very firm believer of the concept of God. I am a very firm believer of the concept of God. Student, ईश्वर को मानने वाला एक स्टूडेंट, गुरु, और ईश्वर को बिल्कुल न मानने वाला गुरु. मैंने कहा था उनसे, you are not a believer of God, but you are a godly man. You are not a believer of God, but you are a godly man. और कर्मयोगी को मंदिर में जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. और कर्मयोगी को मंदिर में जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. ऐसी बड़ी लंबी बात है. 1996. And I think in the year 1996, I had the fortune of organizing the first world philosophers meet. First Parliament of Science First parliament of science and philosophy. Religion, spirituality and philosophy. I had the fortune of meeting a great man from Bihar. I had the fortune of meeting a great man from Bihar. And he told me what is philosophy. He said, it's not a play of gymnastics of words. He said, it's not a play of gymnastics of words. We had a very wonderful 7-day-long conference. And we had a very wonderful 7-day-long conference. And 47 nations participated. And 47 nations participated. And the discussion was, are Vedas and Dhaneshwara or Sant Tukaram, are they philosophers or not? I still remember the main issue. The great scholar, Islamic scholar, the great Maulana Wahiduddin Islamic scholar, Maulana Wahiduddin Khan, finally declared, who had ultimately finally declared 7-day-long conference. It's not a 3-day conference. As an outcome of 7-day-long conference. At the end, when I still remember the Kleist Nobel, the Grand Nobel, the Grand Nobel, the great men, Dalai Lama, coming together, discussing for 7 long days. Coming together, discussing for 7 long days. Was made in the form of a resolution. And the final declaration was made in the form of a resolution. Saint Dhaneshwara, that was one of the greatest philosophers of the whole world. Was one of the greatest philosophers of the whole world. To write an article, get tempted. To write an article. To philosophers and Albert Einstein. To philosophers, scientists, and this article Albert Einstein, subject of criticism. And this article became so much subject of criticism. How can you dare to compare? So much of criticism. How can you dare to compare scientist Albert Einstein? Dhaneshwara to scientists, so many names were taken. Penrose, and so many names were taken. Draw your attention to this aspect. I personally feel that the time has come. I personally feel that the time has come. When the persons like you, who have a full understanding, knowledge part of it, but the wisdom part of it. Not only the knowledge part of it, but the wisdom part of it. To show the pathway of peace and harmony to the mankind. And to show the pathway of peace and harmony to the mankind. Today, about so many things about the employment part. About so many things about the employment part, students, what is happening to PhD students, master students. Just few days back in Maharashtra, there was a news that for just few days back in Maharashtra, police, that for the police constables or there were masters and BEs boys standing in the queue. There were masters and BEs boys standing in the queue. Police constable job. Just to have some, that is police constable job. That is the situation. Bharat, thinking of Viksit Bharat, should not become a subject of politics. Should not become a subject, that's my personal feeling. Politics. And if you want to be a Vishwa Guru, the whole world, to be a Vishwa Guru, the whole world looking to India with hope and expectation, is looking to India with hope and expectation. That it is this nation, Mother India, is going to show the pathway of harmony and peace to mankind. Is going to show the pathway of harmony and peace to mankind. The very words of wisdom spoken by the great noble son of India, the very words of wisdom spoken by the great noble son of India, on 11 September 1893. On 11 September 1893, he had said that time to all of us, it is a world parliament. He had said that time to all of us, it is a world parliament of religion. The whole story of Chicago. You know, but that time when Vivekananda had addressed and said to the whole world, but that time when Vivekananda had addressed and said to the whole world that time, union of science and religion of spirituality, union of science and religion of spirituality alone to mankind will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. Manas Shanti ki baat hai. Samadhan ho, Satchit Anand is the word. Dil ka samadhan ho, Satchit Anand is the word. British were ruling India. But he had said that time British were ruling India. The background was, and naturally the background was, and your own brother, our own brother, this great noble son, your own brother, our own brother, while addressing the world parliament of religions, I am not telling anything new. He says, these words are known to you, I am not telling anything new. Adarsha jise bola jata. But it has been my Sant Gyaneshwar to Einstein is one aspect of it. Sant Gyaneshwar to Einstein is one aspect of wisdom spoken to the whole world. But the most important thing in the words of wisdom spoken to the whole world community are coming true now. Give me a few men. He had said with the muscles of iron and nerves of steel, with the muscles of iron and nerves of steel, my Mother India. And I'll say the face of Mother India, my Mother India. Garo nahi, Shwahiman. आप जानकार लोग हैं, सुंदर भाषा है. What is the very purpose of this all great scientists coming together? What is the very purpose of this all great scientists coming together? यादव साहब धन्यवाद आपको. Purpose क्या है? बाकी सब लोगों को. What is the purpose of life? Purpose क्या है? Where from we have come? What is the purpose of life? And where from we have come? There are very typical discussions and where are we going? There are very typical discussions which can be thought over. But these words of wisdom and the words which have been given, the words of advice, you know that it was in the year 1897, the same great noble son, Swami Vivekananda, told the world that my mother India will become free from the clutches of the British after 50 years from today. And it came true, 1947. And since then, 75 years journey, you have seen how the journey has been so wonderful. We are in the age of the Google, the Facebook, and so many other typical words. But Vivekananda had told that time that after all the innovations and discoveries of the modern science, the world of scientists, men of Google, Facebook, whatever names you take, click, and you can communicate to the whole world. Sant Tukaram Maharaj said, Anu Renu Thokada Tuka Akasha Yoda. What is the meaning of this word? I am the smallest of the small particle of the universe. But what type of particle? It can encompass the entire universe. Universe का भाषा है, सुंदर है, बहुत बढ़िया है. But he had said that time, all the great scientists, with all making the highest possible research and innovation in the field of technology like IT and computer, what they will realize and they will understand there is an essential feature or a force, which is a four-bar mechanism. The body and the brain, the heart or the spirit and the mind. I think Yadav sahab aapne bola tha, what is the chemistry of mind is the word. मन बड़ा चंचल है ना. मैं विनोद से कहूँगा मन की बात नहीं दिल की बात करो. Because that is stable. That is the nature. So innermost understanding of what the nature stands for. Natural laws are uniform. They don't differ at all. These are some of the very words of wisdom spoken by Indian culture, tradition and philosophy. भारतीय संस्कृति, परंपरा, तत्वज्ञान का एसेंस है ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयो, ऐसा शब्द है. ज्ञान विज्ञान की भाषा है. बड़ा सुंदर दिया है, लेकिन we have forgotten the very feeling of understanding the अध्यात्म शास्त्र की वैज्ञानिक प्रयोगशाला. ये जो डोम दिखाया गया आपको, पता नहीं कैसे लेकिन हुआ है. लेकिन if you see, observe, understand, experience and then speak, उसके सिवा बोलने में मजा नहीं. तो ये स्थिति है अपने मन की. आप बड़े लोग हैं, ज़्यादा मैं नहीं बोलूँगा, लेकिन we have been on the path. If you look to this very design of this theater where we are sitting, it gives an essence and philosophy behind, and we have been always trying to understand and give the meaning of what Vishwaguru stands for. कैसे बन सकता है भारत विश्वगुरु? बोलने से, अमीरी से, पैसे से? कौन सी भाषा है वो? But today, let me tell you honestly, the whole world, I had the fortune of going around the Oxford, Cambridge, or the American universities. We had a very elaborate discussion. विश्व गुरु बनने के लिए काबिलियत चाहिए ना. कौन सी काबिलियत है? The discipline, dedication, devotion, decency, decorum, and controlling your own self. Winning personality बोला जाता है उसे यहाँ संस्था में. You should be physically fit, mentally alert, intellectually sharp, but spiritually elevated. That is called as a winning personality. दुनिया के सारे लोगों को ये सिखाने की काबिलियत भारत में है, लेकिन खुद को करना चाहिए ना. Unless I am myself disciplined, if I just only speak very beautiful words and mesmerize the people that वो विश्व गुरु नहीं हो सकता है. विश्व गुरु होने के लिए इस भारत देश में जो चिंतन हुआ, धर्म ग्रंथ की बात होती है. The religion itself has been defined by Swami Vivekananda. He says, religion is nothing but to perform your duty. Duty toward the mother, the father, the family, the society, the nation and the whole world. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world as one family. कितनी भाषा है भाई, कौन सी ऊंचाई है इस शब्दों की. यही संस्कृति है, यही दुनिया को सिखाना है. Whether it's in America or Russia or whatever the nations the great may be, but you know that they are suffering from so much of mental agony and disorder in their families. The family system is getting on the ruin, and it is India which can show some good example of how a family should be. Bangla hai, sundar hai, sab kuch, paisa hai. I had read one article about 10 साल के पहले की बात है. England, the Great Britain. I'm not criticizing. Now they have their own qualities, but the children in the age group of 11 and 12 are trying to make suicides. क्या बात है भैया? 10-11 साल का बच्चा, 5-star घर है, 5-star बंगलो है, 5-star बेडरूम है, 5-star स्कूल भी है. लेकिन ऐसे बच्चे के मन में यह बात कैसे आ सकती है? क्योंकि उसे प्यार नहीं मिलता है, ममता नहीं है, बोलना ठीक नहीं, माँ और पिता का प्यार, love and affection, the mutual faith and trust is missing. And we Indians are trying to follow the same path. That's a little bit of worry. I'm not criticizing anybody. It's not an individual criticism. It's a self-introspection. अपने मन में कोई संकल्प करने का यह दिन है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है. And I have come here to learn from you people. Possibly I had a meeting with some of the great people here. So I'm very happy. And once again I say whatever I have spoken, maybe that you feel like appreciating or not, I don't know. But we have not been on the wrong path. When I say Sant Jnaneshwar to Einstein, we have started here. You know, when these Penrose, Roger Penn, these great people, they have said that all the education is the vice chancellors, the chancellors, and the institution builders. They have been saying to the whole world, it's high time for all of us to start the schools of consciousness and reality. What is the ultimate truth? What the ultimate truth and the word consciousness, the intelligence part of it. And you should start the schools of consciousness and reality, the ultimate truth, the Almighty God. To understand that wonderful mechanism, the smallest of the smallest of the small particle, but which is again a 4-bar mechanism. I repeat that word because being an engineer, I do understand a little bit of it. And that's our duty possibly. So let us try to take a pledge. And I can only, when I see the great Sevakar and everybody sitting here, we are having a world parliament for the vice chancellors and everybody, I'm telling you. We have the 10th world parliament now on 2nd of October, 3rd, 4th and 5th in Rajbagh, and the subject is again the same. The World Parliament of Science, Religion, Spirituality and Philosophy. Let us discuss and know the duties of the great politicians too. As the heads of nation states, they should come together because discussing here will not give the solution. It's only the American heads of the United Nations, what is the role? The World Health Organization, what is their role? Are they effective enough? On the background of especially the coronavirus, when we were all hiding behind the doors, including myself. And maybe I learned from that one laboratory that the strength which that coronavirus as the COVID-19 came out was only 20%. Because some great scientists from Britain we had a discussion on this. His student was working in one laboratory. So the question is, if it comes with a higher strength, all the biological and chemical weapons of the whole world, you know, they can just, if it wrongly triggered, this can burn out this whole earth minimum 100 times. What for we are doing all this? What is the purpose? Are we sitting on this ticking bomb? So you, the teachers, the vice chancellors and everybody has to show and tell even the rulers, the great statesmen, Shikhana ka waqt aa gaya hai. Thank you, sir, so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom and guiding us for this National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2024. It's now my honor and privilege to welcome the chief guest of this session to address the gathering. But before I do that, I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar, sir.
Imagine a time when India dreamed of breaking into the world of supercomputing. One visionary made this dream a reality. Who would have thought a boy from the village of Muramba in Vidarbha, who initially studied in Marathi medium, would grow up to be the father of Indian supercomputing? Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, a man whose ingenuity and passion transformed the technological landscape of an entire nation. The architect behind India's first supercomputer, Param, Dr. Bhatkar's groundbreaking work positioned India as a global leader in supercomputing. From earning his PhD at the prestigious IIT Delhi to being celebrated as a distinguished alumnus and later leading its governing council, Dr. Bhatkar's journey is one of excellence and relentless dedication. His vision didn't stop at technology. As Chancellor of Nalanda University, he revitalized an ancient seat of learning, bridging the past with the future. Recognized with the Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Maharashtra Bhushan and numerous other accolades, Dr. Bhatkar's contributions have been celebrated at the highest levels. Today, Dr. Bhatkar leads several national initiatives. He is a key member of the National Supercomputing Mission, Chairman of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and pioneers quantum computing efforts as Chairman of the steering group of HPC-based quantum accelerators. A mentor to many, Dr. Bhatkar not only guides India's future in science and technology, but also nurtures its culture and humanistic pursuits as a mentor of Vijnana Bharati. His vision continues to inspire. His leadership paves the way for future innovations. His legacy grows stronger with each passing day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our distinguished guest, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar.
Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar, sir.
See, we are all pleased. This roundtable conference is taking place in a campus of Dr. Vishwanath Karad, World Peace University. it's very important that it is taking place in a so-called private university. Several private universities are emerging. We have, I don't know, I lost the count, 1,500 universities now. This cross 1,000 universities, 1,500 significant private universities. Not 1,500 universities. Out of the, there are public universities. We are all familiar with them. They are indeed world-class universities. IITs and ISOs. And in biology field, medical field. So many universities we have created in a very short time. First universities like Tashkeshila was created long time back. First university of the world, which can be termed as a university, was created in India, this great nation. Then we talk of so many other universities, and Nalanda prominently. Nalanda emerged. And this was a model for many other universities around the same time later. But time elapsed. Then we talk about the great Gurukul system which thrived during the Vedic times. We had so many Gurukuls during the Vedic times and later. And until recently, but I think the same Gurukul system also today thrives in a different context of, I think, the research we carry out. There is a Guru and there are so many disciples, PhD students. And today many universities are thriving, coming up. Today we are talking about the future of India. There is a clear statement we are trying to make as we traverse the later part of the reaching to 2047, where the clear goal has been set out that we have to transform this nation into a really, what you call, Viksit, not only advancing nation. I will not say it's not developing, a advancing nation. And is that dream coming true? Here we must, I think, completely dissolve the barriers of one thing we must do. The new policy must emerge is to dissolve the barriers, artificial barriers between private, public, government, all that. We must look at ourselves as one nation, one approach. I would say that the boundary between foreign universities and Indian universities should also vanish, because more and more, I think there will be a collaborative university framework everywhere. More and more. So, this is the message of that, and as somebody rightly said, that the path is great universities, one path. Great universities and great research, great innovations. Even to several startups, the barrier between the industry and academia must also vanish. And this model has to be set up. This conference I see in MIT, World Peace University, as a path-finding model. We are trying to find a path. Which way to go? First thing is that new education policy, which we said that we will set up a huge R&D, significant R&D fund, and this will fund both private and public universities. And that model has been worked out. You have to compete both private and public universities simultaneously. I would say we must cooperate, collaborate with each other, both private and public universities, and work out a model. The gone are the days of, I think, making that distinction between. We must cooperate and create excellence in whatever we do, and create a new model for our university developments. Startups, we have created history in the world in terms of number of startups we are creating outside India and also now in India. Industry collaboration has to increase with the industry as India emerges from them. I would like to take a positive. I see that India, or the great nation, Bharat, emerging as the 5th largest economy and the 3rd largest economy, and we are also talking about it was the 2nd largest economy of the world. In this context, we must set the direction for the universities. How this is going to happen? This is happening as we see our progression. Can we, in that progression, can we see universities? What kind of universities we have to create? Professor, my dear friend and my guide, Professor Mashelkar, gave a different angle to it. We have to take the holistic view of the education, where science and spirituality, they converge together for the ascent of humanity. There's a larger goal, is the ascent of humanity itself. We cannot have only one-dimensional progress. We have to bring the abiding peace to the world, which I think the great conflicts which are going today and increasing by the day. So these two disciplines, and we have the pathway shown by Swami Vivekananda, and this dimension also is equally important. So we must create, I think we must agree to create, we are assembled here to create and have open dialogue, to create, to nurture the great universities of the future, keeping the mind, that the very first universities were created here. Is it possible? Will this goal be realized? Great universities of the world, I'm not saying only in India. The game is really international, worldwide collaborations with the universities. Not only we should develop, but the whole world also should develop, but we can establish some good models here. Another thing I want to say is that there are several opportunities of the new education policy or national education policy. We talk about that very liberal education. We must develop liberal education, gone are the distinctions between science, technology, sociology, humanities, and other branches which are the arts. They are equally important. I must nurture the talent that is within me. The talent, the innate talent which has been given to me. Whatever I like, I nurture, I collaborate with science. The differences are vanishing now. If you look at the new fields in arts, they are technologies. They are advancing technologies where these collaborate together to create new hues. At one time, I really felt very sorry that I don't understand as an engineer. I don't understand biology. And then I found that within the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, which we started, that the center has the maximum number of engineers studying there are biologists. You must have all, Professor, you must have, we all are experiencing this kind of things. So these boundaries are completely vanishing. And we have to keep that in view also. When I look at the emerging opportunities before us, opportunities, and the world is a platform. No more we think of only India as a nation. The whole world is a platform. Because many of our good students are abroad, also come. They are coming back, but that is the context we have to nurture. And that nurturing, and Rahul has been talking about it, that we must find out a mode of collaboration of universities, both public and private. We have grand infrastructure. They must be open for private universities as well. How we can collaborate? But that by law it's open, but we are not able to practice it. How can we have a collaboration of projects between private and public universities? Also we have to think of and establish very good models of collaboration, both competition and cooperation. This model will lead to, indeed, I think we are talking about Viksit, I think really advancing India by 2047. Time is short, 25 years. But the way the country is developing, we may believe or not believe, we may criticize ourselves, but India is developing into a very top university, top nation of the world, direction finding, by establishing friendship across the world. We are talking about. Lastly, as Professor Karat said, that finally we must talk, the very thing is that we say that the question of God, and there are a lot of diverse opinion on this factor. From God is not there, that there is only one God, and all kind of things. This question must be laid to rest. This question which is bothering all of us. First, we must define what is God. And there is one very wonderful definition of God, that is the Vedic definition, that Tattvamasi. God is within you. I am God. My consciousness is God. Prajnanam Brahma. That lays to rest all questions, the Veda Vakyas, Mahavakyas. And who is God? I am God. You are God. My consciousness is God. I am Atma, Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. That very consciousness, or what Professor Karat talked about, we are. Once that is understood, consciousness, my consciousness, that is Brahma, that is God. Once that is understood, let there be debates on this issue. Let us understand this very word or very sentence really very well and enlighten ourselves. Then universities will be truly what we are supposed to be, what Buddha said, that truly enlightened, centers of enlightenment. I don't want to say more on this further. I want this conference, I wish the conference, or the really, which is the first of its kind anyway, let great minds come together, discuss openly, criticize openly, let us be open on that framework, and really end up with great positive collaboration across private, public, and hundreds of universities, 1,500 universities, which will be established in a very short time. And that will create really an advanced India. That is the dream. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for addressing this first National Scientist Roundtable Conference. My friends, there has been repeated address that the studies should lead to research, research should lead to nation building, and everybody said that there has been a role of innovation and businesses. We also have one such personality on stage who has dedicated his life in transforming scientific innovations, putting them to practice and converting them into businesses and innovations. All the way from United States, we have Shri Ashok Joshi ji here with us. I would like to request him to kindly come forward and address the gathering. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause Dr. Ashok Joshi ji.
Thank you, Mr. Bharat. I was not supposed to talk here, first of all, but so I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, distinguished people on the dais and all of you, thank you for this opportunity to speak few words. Yes, one thing is there, that is, I was all my life entrepreneur. An entrepreneur's life is, we don't talk. We just go to work and start building products, try to sell, try to do all those things. And every month we sit down and see whether we have a cash to pay for all my employees. Right? That's our thing. Fortunately, I was very lucky. I could build several companies, not all successful. Some of them were very successful. But that success, I believe, is through my karma, really, rather than really, and some strategies and so on and so on. So what is said here about research and innovation and technology is very important. I consider Swami Vivekananda's Science and Religion, union of science and religion, will bring peace and harmony to humankind. I just want to, because the times are different, I look at it a little bit different way. I look at it science as a gross domestic product. Because after all, what is science? It should help human beings, but with spirituality. So once you do the GDP with spirituality, it will bring peace and harmony. Look at any nation which are higher GDP are having higher peace. Although we take little bit, in America, if you say that they have family issues or these issues, they are also exist in India. Absolutely. They exist all over the world. And in my opinion, the minute you get economic freedom, you get mental freedom also. And the minute you get mental freedom, you start looking at the things, relationship and everything very differently. India had no divorces. Now there are divorces because India's economy is very high. Simple, in my opinion. So we have to go to that path of increasing the gross domestic product. And second, I would like to end up with, we are the 5th powerful economic nation because our GDP is $3.7 trillion. $3.7 trillion. But that's not important. Fifth to third is not important. What is important is whether we have a GDP per capita. We have to include all Indian citizens, Bharat citizens, to take advantage of our GDP. And that is only $2,700, while US is $80,000 GDP per capita. Just imagine the vast difference. So unless we increase that, we have a danger of almost, in my opinion, some revolutions in this country. We have no choice. That's why Modi ji is saying that we have to be $30 trillion by 2047. That is called Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat is nothing but increasing the GDP. We all have our stomach full. We have a good roof on our head. Everything is good for us. That's why we are talking like this. Go to villages. Look at those children's eyes. Then you will realize. That's all I would like to say. Okay? So thank you so much again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for bringing the reality in front of our eyes. Thank you so much. My friends, there are a few more proceedings left in this session, but before I go ahead, I request Professor Dr. Bharat Kariji, FRSC and National Convener of NSRTC 2024, Director of Material Science at MIT World Peace University, to propose the vote of thanks and the information about tomorrow's session. But even after his vote of thanks, I request everyone to remain seated for further proceedings. Thank you.
Good evening to all. I would like to inform Karad sir and P.B. Joshi sir that under the leadership of Rahul ji and Ashok Joshi sir, we have already started working on so many research projects, especially energy, as you suggested. We are working on hydrogen storage. Now we have good faculties today in the MIT WP. When I came here, I found we have good faculties of basic sciences and engineering. We have made the teams and we started working on hydrogen storage, CO2 capture, CO2 conversion, then solid state batteries, as well as batteries, lithium-ion batteries, sodium-ion batteries, making the button cells. Then some of the people working on sensors. Okay, so Ashok Joshi has suggested so many other projects where we are working now, gas sensor, then optical sensors. We have a good group working on pharma here, good leadership. We have biosensors, biomedical devices. So all these we have started under the leadership of Rahul sir, and he agreed to spend a lot of money on research. It's the first MIT WP, a private university, where we are creating such facilities in Maharashtra. I think it's I think we are progressing well. Now MIT WP is focusing on good research. Thank you, sir. I wanted to mention this, so I did. So I would like to thank our chief guest today, R.A. Mashelkar sir, because he has designed the theme of the conferences, and he has helped us a lot for designing the conference all programs. I would also like to express my thanks to Bhatkar sir, because he has given so many inputs while designing this the conference, as well as G.D. Yadav sir, because when we are talking to so many other themes, then he said that you should confine the themes in very limited topic, and then we did it. So while working on this, I have to talk to Mashelkar sir and Bhatkar sir as well as Yadav sir. So with these big people, I have to digest everything. So that is a good good experience. Thanks to them that they have spared some times for this conference. I also extend thanks to Ashok Joshi, because Ashok Joshi sir is a very great personality. He has demonstrated fuel cell in 2012. That is a great thing, because we have started we have demonstrated this year, but he has demonstrated fuel cell in 2012. So you can I forgot. Okay. Sorry. So such a great personality we have, and under his leadership, we are doing many things with the help of Rahul sir, because somebody should be there to guide us, because somebody says, yes, you go ahead, we are with you. That is very important. So he is doing that. That is a real good point in Rahul sir. I would like to thank Pradeep ji and Wagmare ji. When I wrote to them, they agreed within a very 1 or 2 days to come this conference. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence today. I would like to extend my thanks to our Karad sir, because his presence, precious presence, is required for such a very great conference. And I'm happy, sir, you are here today. As well as P.B. Joshi sir. I've seen today, and I'm very happy to see you today, and your presence is very thankful to you. I express my thanks to Sri Rahul Karad sir, our executive president, because under his leadership we are focusing our research, and his co-creation activity is a unique. Nothing is there in the Maharashtra or in India, this co-creation activity. The co-creation activity is very, very important. When so many people come together and focus the problems in rural areas or in other areas, that is a great idea, and he is working on that. So it's a greatness of our Rahulji. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your help all the time for this conference as well, research. Thanks to my colleagues, as well as the researcher, as well as scientists. I have worked along with them for 33 years, and they are here today. Vijay Mohanji is there, right? Ray Saab is there. Shegaonkar sir is there. So many great personalities today, and I feel very happy. Then thanks to them for their sparing time for this conference, as well as I would like to thank our advisory board committee, research committee, because they are here today, and we would like to thank them for sparing time on this occasion. Lastly, I would like to thank to all distinguished speakers, industrialists, academic institutions, heads for taking their valuable time out and ensuring their presence here. I am also thankful to all the faculties and students for their participation, because the conference is for them, for our faculties and students, because they should learn and they should take advantage of collaboration with all great personalities and their experience. So I would like to appeal them that they should interact intensely. What we feel all of us are, our objective is that you should interact with this all dignitaries, with the distinguished scientists, and work in different areas. I would like to thank to organizing team, deans, directors, teachers, staff members, hospitality, transport and accommodation team, media, marketing and IT team. Without you, this conference would not have been possible, because I have seen many things and it is very going smoothly. Thanks to all. Special thanks to all volunteers. They worked with me for almost 16 hours, last 10 days. And because of them, I could make successful this event. I am also thankful to sponsors for their support. I also thankful to my colleague, Dr. Kamtekar. He supported a lot. Dr. Pandey, our Vice Chancellor, Chitnis sir, as well as Murthy sir, and all of you, my colleagues. Thanks a lot for helping me. Thank you very much. And thanks a lot for this once again. Thank you very much. Yeah, tomorrow's event, we start around 9 o'clock in Tip Top Hotel. And we have 4 parallel sessions there. So everybody should be present at 9 o'clock at Tip Top Hotel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And indeed, it is just a beginning. And this journey of National Scientist Roundtable Conference has just begun today. I'm sure there is a long way to go. My friends, this conference is not just treat for the scientists, for the scientific discussion, but it is also going to be treat for your ears. I'm really happy to share with you that we have in this university the grandson of Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi ji, Mr. Anurag Joshi, who is a student at MIT World Peace University. So after this session, there's going to be a very, very beautiful musical performance right here on this stage, which is, I would like to request all of you to stay back and enjoy this musical treat. But before I go ahead, there is one more important moment that we are going to experience, because we have come towards the conclusion of this session. Before I request all of you to rise in your seats for National Anthem, I'm going to request all the dignitaries on the dais if they can please join us downstairs for a beautiful photograph. So I would like to request all the dignitaries on the dais to please go and join us downstairs with the scientists and students around them and join us for the photograph. I request all the students, if you can please come forward. Please get up from your seats, come forward. The senior scientists, those who are sitting in the front row, just rise in your seats. The dignitaries are joining you downstairs. Students, please come forward. Photographers, come upstage. I request all the students to please come forward. Please come, walk between the gangway, please come forward for the photograph. All the students are requested. The Vice Chancellor, all the scientists are there. I request all the dignitaries to join them. Please come forward as much as possible. Don't go on the sideways. Please come in between. Please come in between. Revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karat sir, Sri Rahul Karat sir, everybody has joined us. I request the photographers to get ready. Photographers are ready. I request everyone to please look forward. Everyone, please come this way as much as possible. It's a beautiful photograph on the occasion of first National Scientists Roundtable Conference. Please look at the hand. Yes. I request everyone to please stand still for National Anthem. Thank you very much. I request everyone to remain seated, please, for the musical treat that we all are going to experience.